Hello, I'm Ed Hattrick, the Superintendent of Loudoun County Public Schools. Before this meeting begins, I'd like to lay out some facts and debunk some myths surrounding our proposed budget. During the 19 years I've been Loudoun's superintendent and the 43 years I've served this school system, the rhetoric surrounding the school budget has always been heated. Tax rates have always been too high, deep cuts have always been deemed necessary. In light of the current economic situation, we have to get past the rhetoric and look at the hard decisions facing us as a community. When the economy took a steep downturn in 2008, we decided, along with virtually everyone else in America, to bite the financial bullet. Despite adding more than 3,000 new students and an additional school, we put together a budget that was lower than the previous years and which for the first time in 18 years resulted in a drop in local funding. We asked for $70 million less than we'd expect to receive in a normal year, and we made it work. Making drastic cuts work for another year is, frankly, impossible. We'll have another 3,000 plus students for the 2010-11 school year and 3 additional schools, including Tuscarora and Woodgrove High Schools, which are needed to help alleviate a severe overcrowding issue at the high school level. If this had been a normal year, I would have asked for a budget of more than $815 million. Realizing the financial constraints we face, the budget I've constructed totals a little less than $764 million. Every year, people question our enrollment projections, and for more than a decade, they have been within 1% accurate. There are those who state that our numbers are radically inflated by illegal aliens attending our schools. That's a myth. Everyone attending Loudoun County Public Schools is required to produce proof of residency and is enrolled in our schools on that basis. What isn't a myth is the rate at which Loudoun is growing. More than 30% of Virginia's new students come to Loudoun each year. The most important question people ask in relation to the budget is, where does the money go? The simple answer is people. 88% of the money that's in the school budget goes to pay the salaries of our employees, teachers, administrators, bus drivers, custodians, anyone and everyone who contributes to the education of our students. To give you an idea how the compensation our employees receive stacks up against other jurisdictions in metropolitan Washington, I'm going to ask our Assistant Superintendent for Financial Services, Lee Burden, to give you some facts compiled by the Washington Area Boards of Education, or WABE. What this will show is that Loudoun is not extravagant when it comes to funding education in one of the most competitive educational markets in America.
Thank you, Dr. Hattrick. In putting together this year's budget, we took into account some trends that have developed in relation to the other jurisdictions in the Washington area. This year, Loudoun ranked next to last in starting teachers' pay in metropolitan Washington. For the first time in recent memory, we slipped behind Prince William County in this category. Our average teacher pay also ranked second to last. Something else that merits mentioning is that the level of local funding that Loudoun invests in its public schools is in the middle of the pack. In a similar vein, Loudoun's cost per pupil is moderate and dropping from previous years. A myth you hear at budget time is that the majority of salaries paid to LCPS employees go to people living outside the county. This is inaccurate. A recent internal audit showed that 71% of the people who work in Loudoun County schools actually live in Loudoun County as well. Another myth is that LCPS is not independently audited. We are audited every year, and the results of the audit are available to all other government agencies and the public at large. There are no secret slush funds or manipulation of the books. If the money allocated to the schools was not spent for the purpose for which it was appropriated, we could not pass the audit. We have passed every year with flying colors.
Thank you, Lee. While we rank in the middle or on the lower end of the spectrum in costs, we rank in the upper end of achievement. This achievement level comes at a price, the prices of hiring and retaining good teachers, and that's something I don't apologize for. I've lived through enough budget cycles to remember the days when Loudoun served as a training ground for other jurisdictions, especially Fairfax, and especially where teachers were concerned. And I don't want to see a return to that time. That's why I've proposed a 1% cost of living adjustment for our employees in the next budget, following a year during which no raises were given. People see figures such as the ones Lee presented and say, okay, let's pay the teachers and cut administration. My answer to such suggestions is we already have cut administrators. We have not increased administrative personnel at the same rate as teachers. In fact, we've held our administrative team constant while the student population has grown. When people see the administration building next to the Greenway, they think that we have a huge number of personnel who aren't school-based. In fact, more than 92% of our employees are based in schools. I'd also say that the exceptional results we've seen from our students are the result not only of the work of our classroom teachers, but of those who design curriculum, clean and repair our buildings, and feed and transport our students. I'd also point out that many of our administrators fulfill the unfunded mandates placed on us by the state and federal governments, mandates we must obey by law. When we talk about budget, we too often get caught up in the costs and not the results we get for our community investment. Here to talk about the return on investment we get for our budget is Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, Sharon Ackerman.
Thank you, Dr. Hattrick. Indeed, the steady increase in several measures of student achievement demonstrates an excellent return on taxpayers' investment in our school system. Our graduation rate is not only high, but above average among the 9 ethnic and economic groups reported by the state. For instance, the graduation rate among our African American students is 10 points higher than the overall graduation rate in Virginia. While we haven't completely eliminated the achievement gap, we have made significant progress for minority students on achievement measures. This has been achieved largely through strong and consistent equity initiatives designed to increase access and opportunity for all students. The school division has made adequate yearly progress for the past 2 years as defined by the federal No Child Left Behind legislation. A more impressive data point is that 1/2 of all students in grades 10 through 12 are challenging themselves with college-level work by enrolling in 1 or more advanced placement courses. Our overall Scholastic Achievement Test, SAT scores, are higher, significantly higher than the state and national averages. This is the result of a rigorous curriculum and assessment program that monitors student progress and sets the expectation for teachers to focus on the instructional needs of each student. Examples of unique features of the LCPS curriculum that add value to our students' experiences are the foreign language program for all students in grades 1 through 6 and the development of a successful stringed instrument curriculum that grew from an after-school program. The instructional programs, mentorships, and international partnerships at the Loudoun Academy of Science have gained national admiration at a school that has been in existence for just a few years. The end product is that 93% of our graduates go on to some form of higher education. Last year, our graduates took with them $20.6 million in scholarships, a 19.6% increase from the previous year.